Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Ott.
Hey, how you doing? This is Brian from Bradley Water Department over here in Atlanta, Michigan. I received a call from you.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Hey, look, I was just looking to chat at you for a minute. I'm working on a case right now involving allegations against the Bradley Township Board for violations of the Open Meeting Act.
Right.
So, are you familiar with this at all, or?
Yeah, I was there when it all took place and whatnot. I was actually the guy's supervisor when he was terminated.
Okay. So I've just got a couple just quick questions for you. I'm just trying to put this together, make heads or tails of it anyway. So the night of December 14th, obviously there was a meeting. You just confirmed that you were there.
Yep.
Okay. So the board, Supervisor Warner initially asked Jay if he would like to take this to a closed session. Now Jay basically says no, he'd like to keep it open. Do you recall that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
That actually took place 4 times. Jay repeated to the board members 4 times that he wanted it open.
Okay.
And they're like, no, you can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. It's employee related and whatever the case might be.
Okay.
And then also he handed documentation showing the MCL law that it was stating for the First Amendment, and the board didn't even look at it. Craig Smith gave that to Jay.
Okay.
Jay gave it to me, and I'm like, I can't make heads or tails of this, bro. It reads like stereo instructions to me, to be honest with you.
Right.
And so he took it up to the board table and set it up there, and they said, nope.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they just kind of went with the closed session.
Okay. So you said that this kind of went back and forth 4 different times where Jay requested it remain open. They denied his requests all 4 times?
Yeah, they denied him several times in a row.
Okay.
I want to say at least 4 times.
Okay.
He's like, I want an open session. They're like, no. And
Okay.
he's like, yes, I do. And it kind of like pushed him into a corner to where he had to agree with them because it was in regards to his termination or possibly still working with the township.
Okay.
And so it's not like he was going to put it off for another 2 weeks, you know.
Right. So you just mentioned there that they kind of forced him to agree to go to a closed session. Do you believe that was my next question. Did he ultimately agree to a closed session?
In a sense, because he was pushed to it.
Okay.
He was already out of work, I want to say a week up to this point on suspension. And so this was the determination on if he's going to be coming back to work or not.
Okay.
And so I think in Jay's mind, he's like, well, screw it. The board's not working with me on this. I got to come to terms in dealing with this situation. So I guess we're going to go to closed session because that's the only way we're going to handle this, apparently.
And that was going to be my follow-up question to it. And if he did agree to it, was it more or less a forced agreement? It was clearly, he's, from my understanding from what you're saying and kind of viewing the video and stuff like that, he wants this to be an open session, but, at the end, I don't have where, because there's the video kind of cuts out, so I don't have the ending, so that's why I'm kind of curious, because, people are saying that he agreed to it. Obviously, there's others that are saying he didn't agree to it, if that kind of makes sense, so I'm just trying to
It was a forceful hand agreeing to it. It's not like he just went in on his own recognizance and says, okay, we're going closed session. No, he wanted it open just because he wanted the public to know. And I was also going to throw things out there during that session if it was open about some issues I had with them, just so the public is aware of it, because there's a lot of things I don't think the public is aware of.
Sure. So, and it's my understanding that he requested you be present during the closed session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was granted then, you were in fact present during the closed session?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else that you care to share with me about that meeting or anything in particular?
I had some issues in the past where my overtime was disappearing, but I went back in to find documentation, and I can't find any documentation of it anywhere, so it's kind of been smoothed over to where it disappeared.
Okay.
That was the only issue I had just with that.
Okay. Was that with the current board or a previous board, do you recall?
That's the current board here.
Okay. All right.
That's the current board.
Okay. So, during the closed session, it was roughly an hour, I believe, from what I'm learning anyway. And then you guys come back out, and then they open it back up for an open session. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. At that point, did they give Jay the opportunity to speak during an open session?
Yeah, they did at the end. I know he was really heartbroken about it because he had so much time in and so forth. He didn't really have much to say, just hand me his keys and says, I wish you the best of luck.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
They did go back into open session, though, and talk about the termination of him, though.
Okay.
They brought that back. That's what they discussed, in a sense. Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you the only... how many full-time employees... Are you full-time with the township, then?
Yes.
How many full-time employees does Briley Township have?
Just me right now.
Just you?
Okay. Yeah, there was Jay. Jay was kind of like a part-time, up to like 35 hours, roughly, ballpark.
Okay. Now, is there any sort of like employee contract or anything like that says basically what the employee's rights are as far as like discipline hearings, termination hearings, or anything like that you're aware of?
We do have an employee handbook.
Okay.
If you want, I could make a copy of that for you and fax it over to you, or something of the such if you need.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I guess, are you familiar with anywhere in there where it says anything to the effect of, the board has the right, or the Briley Township board? Now, who do you answer to? Is it the board then?
I answer to Ken Warner. He's my supervisor.
Okay.
But I've had a lot of issues just taking things to him that things don't end up getting resolved. Like for instance, like that overtime issue. It went a month and a half with that overtime issue.
Okay.
And then nothing was done about it. And so then I was pretty much using it as, not PTO, but,
comp time?
Comp time. I pretty much was turning it into comp time. Okay. And I told Evelyn about it because I was like, I don't understand. You're going to let this guy go because he unplugged someone's car, and that's not breaking any physical laws. I mean, you're touching someone else's property, but you're not breaking any specific laws, I don't believe. Mm-hmm. It's rude, but you're not breaking no laws. And I was like, I don't understand how the board can take money from me, an amount of $312 and change, and yet they don't do anything about it. And Evelyn pretty much said, well, what did you do to fix it? And I'm like, well, I took it to Ken 3 different times. Nothing happened about it. Or 2 different times I took it to Ken. The other time I took it to Phil Lamore. Nothing was resolved, so I had to take it upon my own cognizance to do it upon myself to fix the situation because I'm the supervisor of my department.
Sure.
And so I did what I did, and she turned around and calls me a thief for doing that. I got issues with Ken just with responsibility levels with things.
I guess what I'm curious if there's anything in your employee handbook or anything that basically gives the board the right to take it to a closed session. I know there's some laws and stuff that
only if it's disciplinary type stuff, I believe. I think there's something in there if it's employee relation.
Okay.
Like if it was you're going to be terminated, you're going to be fired, you're going to be suspended, something of that such, I believe.
Okay. It says in the basically in your contract or your paperwork there that the board does have the right to take it to a closed session.
Don't hold me to that.
Okay.
I go dig up the employee handbook, but I want to say, I know I've heard them say that to me.
Okay.
I got to go through and verify.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, I guess if you have the ability to fax it, I can give you the fax number here, or if it's easier for you just to make a copy of it, I can pick it up from you. Whatever's easiest for you.
It don't matter to me. It all depends if you want to be on the road today. If you want to be on the road, I'll make a copy of it for you. If not, then I can fax it over to you.
How late do you typically work? I'm in Alpena. I've got a couple things to do this afternoon. I actually live in the Atlanta area, so I'm over there irregardless. But I probably realistically won't get back into town until probably after 5, or I can pick it up from you tomorrow morning.
Okay, I'll be here till 6 today because I'm meeting with the operator from Gaylord.
Okay.
So I'll be in this building till 6.
Why don't I just, are you right there at the township office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see a black F-150 and then a little door right there, and then there's a couple bay doors right where that black F-150 is parked.
Okay.
Just that small little walkway door right there.
Okay.
By the truck.
Why don't I do this? I'll touch base with you. The number that we're talking on now, I noticed it's not the number that I called you on. I assume I probably tried your cell phone.
Yeah, that was myself. Yep.
I'll touch base with you this afternoon. And just let you know if I'll make it. If not, I can. Or do you work tomorrow?
Yeah, I work tomorrow as well.
Okay. Why don't we just plan on tomorrow morning? I think that'll be
excellent.
Easiest for both. What time works for you?
Tomorrow I should probably be here about 7 a.m. to about 2, roughly.
Okay. I'll plan on about 8:30. Will that work?
Okay.
I can give you a call.
Yeah.
I can give you a call beforehand, or I can just show up there at 8:30 if that works for you.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Hey, since I got you on the horn real quick,
Yep.
I got a question.
Sure.
Because all this stuff's taking place.
Yep.
Kim Warner approached me saying my job could possibly be at risk because of this whole ordeal that's going on with the recall and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Because I am a felon, but I thought it was up to their discretion.
So I guess I'm not familiar with the recall that's taking place or what he's referencing.
Okay. I gotcha.
So there's a recall taking place?
Yeah, apparently they're going after Evelyn White, and I want to say Phil Lamore.
Okay. And is it going to a special election, or I guess what's the process? Where's the process at?
That I don't know. This is my first time ever dealing with this political side of things.
Right.
Yeah. So, I've been here 2 years, and I am Phil Lamore's stepson, but he abstained from the vote when I was hired in.
Okay.
And so forth. But yeah, Kim was talking about, well, you're a felon, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that was like 17 years ago, though.
Right.
I'm like, what the heck?
Okay.
So I was just wondering. All right.
Yeah,
No worries.
I'm not familiar on that. I guess it would. I don't know. I guess the short answer is I don't know at this point.
That's okay. No worries.
I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction or anything. So.
Right. I didn't know if I should get a hold of an attorney, maybe get some information from them. I just wasn't too sure if I should just ride it out and see what happens.
Yeah. I guess I hadn't heard wasn't aware there was a recall taking place. So.
Oh yeah, there's a big storm going on over here in Atlanta right now.
Well, it's funny because I've had similar investigations in the past with Bradley Township, but it didn't have anything to do with the current board. So.
Right.
But it's always something, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, it's political,
But, Yeah, unfortunately, with politics. So.
You get some people in there that think they have like a God complex or God authority issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understandable.
To where they're above the law, but hopefully I answered your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you had.
And you've got my number if anything else pops up. But at the very least, I'll see you tomorrow morning about 8:30, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. I'll have a copy of that employee handbook for you too.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, not a problem.
Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. It is 10:30 on Thursday, January 19th. That will conclude my interview with Brian Pugh, supervisor of Bradley Township DPW.